Okay. Okay, let's get started. Okay. Hello everyone, my name is Yash. I'm someone who is interested in learning MS Excel for the purposes of learning data analytics, and also, I want to get good enough so I can monetize these skills. So that's what we are going to do today. If you're first time watching this channel, then you know that my thing is that I want to debug my life, and so some of the mistakes that I've made, I want to correct them, and I want to upskill myself first and foremost. So this is what we're going to do. I've already enrolled in this Udemy course. I've watched some of it, so that's what we are going to do. But for the sake of this video, these two things I've seen, but we will go over this one more time. In this video, we will master a function.
Welcome aboard, everybody. This is an Excel course, and let's just say this is a file you just got from your new job, and it's got a whole bunch of data on it, and this is your first assignment. So let's try to see what we can do with this file. First of all, as we can see, the file name is customers, and in it is a lot of names about customers, countries, where they're from, emails, lots of data. We're going to try to make sense of it and learn how to use it and how to use Excel's functions to maximize the data. Okay, so we see there's three worksheets. There's the customers worksheet, products, and return.
Okay, so this is the worksheet that he's talking about. We have customers, we have product, and we have returns. So let's get started. Let's see what we have.
As you can see, we can zoom in here and see them down at the bottom. And the customers worksheet is constructed with 4 columns. As we can see here, customer ID, name, country, and email addresses. If we click on the A column here, we can highlight the whole column, and we can see the total count of the column. There's 1,801 cells in the column. So not including the header, this would mean we have 1,800 customers. If we click on the arrow next to customer ID, we could sort it out and see all the customer ID numbers. Same goes for names, see all the unique names. And the arrow next to country, see a list of all the countries or states. And lastly, also for email, we can see all the emails in the file. Okay, if we click on the products worksheet, we can see the products worksheet is constructed of 3 columns. It has in it a product ID. Here's all the product IDs. There's a whole bunch of them here. And we have the second column, which is the price for each product. This is in US dollars, so a list of all possible prices, and the category, what each product is, what kind of category it belongs in, with books, tickets, foods, and etc. Okay. So lastly, we have the returns worksheet. This worksheet is constructed of 3 columns, product ID, which we've seen earlier. This is actually what connects the returns worksheet with the products worksheet, the product ID, and additionally, the customer ID connects the returns worksheet with the customers worksheet. In addition to this, we have the actual date here, the date format. This is written in the format month, day, year. This is quite common in the United States, in North America, to write the date like this. But this isn't the format which the date is written everywhere, worldwide. I personally use the day, month, year format, like such as this. There we go. Wait, don't need the equals. We do day, month, year. This is a European standard for the format of dates. Here, as we can see, the Excel even knows this cell is in the type of the date format. That's the type of cell it is. And for the other cells, it doesn't know this. Okay, let's delete this. So when we click on date, when we try to sort these cells, we can see that Excel has made a big mess out of all these dates, and these are just incorrect. It's not very coherent. There's something problematic with it. And playing around, we could see it. Not all these dates are here. A lot of missing dates. Something's wrong here. So this probably leads me to the first lesson we will be learning. Date and time, and we will be learning how to deal with these kinds of problems and how to play with dates in Excel.
Okay, let's jump into the date and time function.
Here for date gives me all types of possible date formats as well as for time. Okay, now we will begin to go over basic Excel functions related to dates and times. You can find all the relevant date and time functions by clicking on the function sign here, and then selecting the category Date and Time. Here we have a list of all of Excel's relevant functions. We can choose any of these functions and an explanatory window will appear. Here Excel explains what needs to be inserted in each field, very simply. Let's go over some of these basic Excel functions and see how they work. Our first function is the today function, which very simply returns today's date. To call any Excel function, we must first type in the equals character. Next, we call the specific function. And lastly, we open and close the function with parentheses. So we do equals, we call today, we open and close with parentheses, and we click enter. As you can see, Excel knows that this cell is now in date format and not general. Next, we have the now function. The same goes for now. We type in equals, then we type in now, then we type in parentheses, and we close it, enter. This additionally gives us the date and the time. Our next function is year. As you can see, Excel asks for a specific date next to
You get the idea.
Pin here B1. Then we click enter, and as we can see, it returns 2020.
Let's see if, I don't know what will happen. Let's see what happens here. Yeah, it didn't accept it. Okay, so it doesn't work on it doesn't work. I think that for that there is another function. We will learn that in the future. Not future, we will learn that today.
21, which is the year in cell B1. The same goes for month. We type in month, we send it to B1, goes for day. As for the function hour, it asks for a cell with an hour, and it gives like B1. Then we send it to B, dates it to the relevance for an hour, a minute, and a second. So we type in time, we give it a specific hour, the hour in, let's say, B6, a specific minute, the minute in cell B7, and a specific second, the second in cell B8. We close it up, and we enter, and it gives us a specific time. Our next function is week now. Excel asks for a specific cell with a date, We send it to B1 in a format. By this, it means which day of the week we suppose the week begins with. Be it 1 Sunday, 2 Monday, and so on and so forth. So we could type in 2 Monday, the week begins on Monday. We click enter. This means we're at the 33rd week of the year.
Okay.
As for weekday, we type in the function weekday, give it a date, and the format. Which day does the week begin with? Be it Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and so on and so forth. We can say the week begins on Sunday. We type in 1. We close the function, and we click enter. And this would mean the specific date is a Tuesday. The function days returns this amount of days between two specific dates. So, to do this, we type in days, we give it as end date, comma, and for the start date, we do parentheses, and then we type in a specific date manually. Say, for instance, January 1st, 2021. 1/1/2021, we close it. This means there are 221 days between our date and the 1st of January. If we hadn't put these parentheses, Excel would not have known what to do, it would have been confused, and it would have given us a wrong date. We'll know how to deal with this later. These are Excel's basic date and time functions, the ones we really need to know well and know how to use. Additionally, if we click on a cell, we could change the formatting. You could change the date from a short date to a long date, or vice versa, a specific time format. We could click on more number formats, and we could do additional customization. Here, I could choose and call all kinds of different date and time formats. As we can see here for date, gives me all types of possible date formats, as well as for time, the way I want my time to be shown. Additionally, for the date, I could change it based on a specific time zone, be it how they use the date format in the United States, as we see here, the 3rd of the 14th of March, 2012. This is how they do it in the United States. Or I could even use it to the time zone format in England. This is the European format for dates. This is the same goes for time. I could change it to however I best see fit. Additionally, I could customize my date and time formats to ways which aren't the default ways which Excel shows me. These are very specific, very unique formats which I could change and customize to my liking. Additionally, another cool little thing I can do here is if I go to weekday, I could change the number format so that Excel shows me the weekday in whichever format. Okay, now we're back at our customers file, and we're going to fix our problematic date format, which we had earlier. The action necessary is actually quite simple. We highlight the column which we are working on, and we go to the Data tab. We click on Text to Columns, and this box appears. We could use this to separate our cells using a specific criteria. I will use the delimited option to show you how it works. I click Next. Now, Excel asks which character I want to use to separate my data. Delimiter, be it a tab, be it semicolon, comma, or space. In our instance, we could technically use a slash. As we can see, this is the data preview of what our data would look like if we were to use this option. But since we do not want to separate our data, rather we just want to alter it based on a specific date format, I'm not going to choose any option here of the delimiters, and I'm going to go into click on Next. Here, column data format option, I'm going to click on Date, and here I'll change DMY, date, month, year. I'm going to change this to month, day, year, which is the date format I'm trying to achieve. Click Enter, and as we can see, my dates and my data is now correctly formatted into the exact format I want.
All right. So date, data, text to column, next. We don't want any of it. Next, MDY. Okay.
Month, day, year, which is the date format I'm trying to achieve.
I don't know why I'm yawning so much. Okay, that happened. Okay.
Click enter. And as we can see, my dates and my data is now correctly formatted into the exact format I want. Very simple and very easy. Okay, another interesting feature is making connections between tables, as we've spoken about. In the returns tables, as I've said, we have the product ID, which is connected with a key to the product table. How are these connections actually made? We click on the data tab, then we go over to this little symbol here, which is the relationships button. We click on it, we click on new relationship, and on the table, we click on this worksheet where the table of the matching key is located. So here we'll click on returns. On the column, which is the key, we'll go to product ID. Then we'll go. Okay. Another interesting feature is making connections between tables, as we've spoken about. In the returns tables, as I've said, we have the product ID, which is connected with a key to the product table. How are these connections actually made? We click on the data tab, then we go over to this little symbol here, which is the relationships button. We click on it, we click on new relationship, and on the table, we click on this worksheet where the table of the matching key is located. So here we'll click on returns. On the column, which is the key, we'll go to product ID. Then we'll go and find its matching key. We'll go to the products worksheet, product table, and the key again is product ID. We'll click OK. We'll wait for it to load. And now, as we see, we have created a new active relationship or connection between these two tables. We'll make the same connection between the second key we have with the returns table, customer ID, customers, and the customer ID is the key again, matching key. We'll click OK. And now, as you can see, we have created two active connections between our tables. This is quite useful, and we will see its usefulness later on in the course.
Okay. Oh, sorry.
Active.
Okay, returns customer ID. I was doing right. Let's see. We got it right. Table design and name.
As you've all seen earlier, my tables and my graphs are quite organized. They have a header and a name and a specific design which I've chosen. Here, I will show you how to easily customize your table. If, for instance, we make a trivial table, let's say these numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, I can customize my table by highlighting it, clicking on the Format as Table tab. Now that I've created a set table, if I click on any cell in the table, Table Design tab will appear. Here I can change my table's design, name, etc. based on any of the designs which Excel. I can customize my table by highlighting it, clicking on the Format as Table tab. Now that I've created a set table, if I click on any cell in the table, Table Design tab will appear. Here I can change my table's design, name, etc. based on any of the designs which Excel shows me, or the default ones. Nextly, I can rename the table. I click on it, click on table name, and I can click on new table dash numbers. Here, there's an error because I cannot use a hyphen during in the name, so I'll do numbers without a hyphen, enter, and my table has a nice name and a nice unique design. Okay, now that we have a basic understanding of date and time functions, I want to add specific information columns to my data, specifically my date. The first column I'm going to add is a month column of the return date. There is a month, and I'll change this color to a different color in order to differentiate my new columns. Now I'm going to use the function we've learned earlier, equals month. And here
he's basically going. I haven't seen it, but it's not really hard to understand what he's doing, right? Month.
I'll send it to the cell which I want to extract information from. I'll click enter. As we can see, all the corresponding months for my date return shows up. Secondly, I want to add a week number column. So I'll go to the eFile, I'll type in week number, and in order to match this cell color to the fit on week num, my function, send to the cell I want for my date, and set the format to what date the week begins on. I'm going to choose Monday. And I'll click enter. Now we see all the week numbers for my returns. This is very useful for what I'm going to be teaching you very soon. Here, the next objective I want to perform is to add a price column here on column F. Type in price in the title, and I'll change the color to my relevant color. What I want to do in essence is here, using the product ID for each product in the returns table. Using the worksheet products, I want to use...
For me for a second, so I can do this.
use the unique product ID and to match the price so as to put it in my new price column. The way I do this is using a well-known and useful function called VLOOKUP.
I forgot how this works. Let's see.
Here is an example table which I will be using. It shows various football players in the players' names. It will start checking to see if USA is located in that cell. So you'll go down all the way down to the bottom.
I remember this working. I don't know. I forgot how it works. Let's ask ChatGPT. Yeah? How use X lookup? Okay, so the way it should work is okay, so equal to X look up price return array would be product ID. What the fuck is this? What? So lookup value would be this. Lookup array would be this, and return array would be this. What the fuck? and I completely botched it. Let's go. I thought I got it. I don't completely. Clearly, I don't understand it completely. Man, I got it right once. I thought I would be able to get it right.
Here, 1 is similar to -1, an exact match, and if it's not found, it will return the next larger item. And 2, the wildcard, we won't be using too much of that in this course. And lastly, we have the search mode. We have the default one, which starts at the first item. And is I'm searching for the value Argentina. The lookup array is in country. And what I'm trying to extract is from the name column. So what Excel will do, it will go to given text. So we will try USA. And Excel will go to the country column. And one by one, he will start checking to see if USA is located in that cell. So he'll go down all the way down to the bottom of the list. And since USA is not in this list, it will give us back, and we will put -1 here in the cell of player name. VLOOKUP. And the value we're searching for is the product ID.
Okay. Product ID.
So we'll click on A2. We'll use a comma to separate to the next question. Table array. We will go to the products worksheet.
Okay. Oh, sorry. Okay. What the fuck does spill mean? What does spill That don't make no kind of sense. Let's see if we fucked up somewhere.
Sheet, and we will highlight the entire table of products. Another column, and we're looking for the price, so the column index number will be 2. The second column is the price column. We'll use another column, and lastly, we'll give it 0. We want not approximate match, we want an exact match. We will click enter. Now, just as you see, 2. Another column, higher table, the value we're searching for is the product ID, so we'll click on A2. We'll use a comma to separate to the next question. Table array, we will go to the products worksheet, and we will highlight the entire table of products. Another column, and we're looking for the price, so the column index number will be 2. The second column is the price column. We'll use another comma, and lastly, we'll give it 0. We want
I don't think that's how this will work. I mean, like, I don't think I used this like this last time. Let's see. I know I didn't. Like, this is VLOOKUP. Maybe if we do VLOOKUP, maybe it will work. It's still not working. What exactly is this? Maybe he will get similar results like this.
not approximate match, we want an exact match. We will click enter. Now, just as you see,
if he did the exact match thing, maybe then it will work. I got it right last time. What exactly did I do this? Yeah, I got it right last time. Like this, I don't know what exactly was I doing wrong. What exactly was I doing wrong? Like, I got it again. I got, like, let's see if we got it again. If we extend it, yeah, I got it again. I don't really get what I was doing wrong. I'm probably am doing wrong. You guys will probably know what I was doing wrong. If you know, comment down below what exactly was I doing wrong. All right.
in the column, the placement of the second cell was the value which I was looking for. Okay, let's try to use this match function and see how to implement it. What I want to do now is to add another column in my customers table to see which of my customers in all returned an order. So I'll go to column E and I'll give it a title. I'll call it return order number or something along those lines, return number, and double click it to make it my size, give it a specific color. And what I'll be asking here is for each customer, did this customer return an order? And the customer ID is located in the returns worksheet. So as you can see, a lot of customer IDs here in the returns worksheet. I'm going to try to see if, and if so, where the customer returned an order. So the function we'll be using is an Excel function called match. And in a second, I will go into how to use it. Okay, so match. What does match want and ask for? The first thing is the lookup value, which is the value which we're searching for, usually a unique ID or something along those lines. Second is the lookup array, where that is less than the lookup value. -1, the smallest value that is greater than the lookup value. What this does is gives you the relative position of where in the table my match was located, basically the row number. Let's see how the match function would work on our players table, our example table. So my lookup value is Argentina, and my lookup array will be the country column. I'm looking for an exact match, so I will use 0. The first placement of the column is Portugal, and the second is Argentina. So the answer Excel will return to me will be 2. The second cell in the column, placement of the second cell was the value which I was looking for. Okay, let's try to use this match function and see how to implement it. So I'll type in match. My lookup value will be my customer ID, comma, to separate it. My lookup array, I'm going to go to my returns table, and I'll highlight the customer ID array, comma, match type exact 0, and click enter. As you can see, we have a lot of NAs, a lot of problematic cells. This is intuitive, since a lot of my customers did not return orders, so their customer ID was not located in the returns worksheet. To compensate for this, I will type in another function, if NA, before my original function. This basically means if there is an NA in my answer, change it to something else. So the value, if the value is NA, and then comma, and then if there's an NA, I'll give it quotation marks, leave it empty so that it'll be a blank, close the parentheses, and click enter. As you can see, we have a much cleaner data set.
Okay, so let's see if I have this right.
Go to my returns table, and I'll
Okay. What the fuck?
I'll highlight and click enter. As you can see, we have a lot of NAs, a lot of problematic cells. This is intuitive since a lot of my customers did not return orders. So before my order change and close date.
Yeah, he used to be. I think that we did this in different tables. That's why
We have Brazil.
result is not matching up. Yeah.
The third 10 we have on the list is not Brazil in the country column, so the answer that we will be returned to is 1. Let's implement this in our Excel file. We'll do equals count if. The range, we have to go to the returns worksheet. And we highlight the customer ID. So we're moving along nicely. And I want to add another column to my table here. The number of returns. So not only if the customer ID or customer returned a product, but how many times if so. So we'll turn them out, we'll double click it. Let's change the color to the color we want. And the function we'll be using is count if. Explain this count if, that's for a range. This is basically where I'm going to be counting a specific criteria. So in our for the second condition to the first, and so we have our equals 10, country equal 10, fits, and we have if the range, we have to go to the returns worksheet, and we highlight the customer ID, and we go back to the customer's worksheet, and we see is there criteria, does it equal my customer ID? As we can see, the numbers we've received are either 0, 1, or 2, meaning each customer returned a product from 0 to 2 times. Okay, we have covered all that, and on to the next video.
The fuck?
Okay, here we are back at our customers table, and I would add another column. I want to add a column of all the total returns in money terms each customer ID got back. Not the amount of returns, but rather the sum of all the returns. So this is why in the returns worksheet we added the price column for this exact reason. And if we go back to the customer's worksheet, we will do just this. So in the G column here, let's add a header, returns sum, and let's make it bigger. Let's paint it. Okay, so basically what function will we be using? We will be using the function SUMIF. This function lets you sum a total number of cells based on a certain condition, which I choose. Let's take a close look at the SUMIF function. The first thing it asks for is the range. This is the range to which the condition will be applied to. The second thing it asks for is the condition itself. What are we asking it? And thirdly, is the actual cells to sum. What are we trying to find? What are we adding here at the end of the day? So let's see how this SUMIF function works on our table, on our example table. So in this instance, we are looking at the country column, and we are asking the condition, does it equal Argentina? If so, add and sum the numbers column. So let's see how Excel processes this function. It goes to the country column, and it goes cell by cell until it finds Argentina. Then he goes to the numbers column and adds that number cell, that value. So we have 2 countries for Argentina, so 10 and 11 are the respective values of the numbers column, so Excel will return 21. Okay, now on to the SUMIFs function. A bit different than SUMIF. The first thing it asks for is the sum range, the answer, the cells we are trying to sum at the end of the day. Secondly, it gives you the first criteria range and the first condition, Thirdly, we have the second criteria range, and of course, the next condition. So in our example table, we are summing in the end of the day the numbers. The first condition is the country France, and the second condition is the year of birth smaller than 1994? Is he older than someone who was born in 1994? So we go to the country column, we go to France. Oh, we have France here. Let's go to the year of birth. Is it smaller than 1994? No, so it'll skip it. Next one, we have the country France, and it goes to year of birth. Yes, this one is smaller than 1994, so it will add the number 9. That's it. We have no other countries here of France, so that's it for sum ifs. Okay, so let's try to implement this function on our table here. So we go to return sum, we type in sum if, and the range we want to choose is in the returns worksheet. We go to customer ID, we highlight that array. The condition is, does it equal to the customer ID in the customer's worksheet? And of course, what we are trying to sum is sheet. Does it equal to the customer ID in the customer's worksheet? And of course, what we are trying to sum is the price. So, well, the answer is what we are trying to sum is the price. So, well, the answer is price, and we click enter. As we can see here, there's the list of all the prices. We have wide range of return sums, and
काम कर रहे हैं।
And of course, what we are trying to sum is the price. So, well, the answer is price, and we click enter. As we can see here, there's the list of all the prices. We have myth. And the range we want to choose is in the returns worksheet. We go to customer ID. We highlight that array. The condition. Smaller than 90 francs in on our table here. So we go to return sum, we type in sum if, and the range we want to choose is in the returns worksheet. We go to customer ID, we highlight that array. The condition is, does it equal to the customer ID in the customer's worksheet? To the customer ID at array. The condition is, does it equal to the customer ID in the customer's worksheet? And of course, what we are trying to sum is the price.
return customer ID @customer ID returns. Return customer ID customer ID. Return customer ID.
So, well, the answer is price.
Still not working. What exactly is the problem?
Price, and we click enter. As we can see here, there's the list of all the prices. We have a wide range of return sums, and that's that. Now we have a much better understanding of Excel and how to sum numbers based on conditions.
I still don't.
Okay, so now we have our... Okay, here we go. It'll skip it. Next one, we have the country France, and it goes to year of birth.
How to use SUMIF? Range criteria, sum range. And to evaluate against the criteria, the condition.
Yes, this one is smaller than 1994, so it will add the number 9. That's it. We have no other countries here or France, so that's it for SUMIFs. Okay, so let's try to implement this function on our table here. So we go to return sum, we type in SUMIF, and the range we want to choose is in the returns worksheet. We go to customer ID, we highlight that array. The condition is, does it equal to the customer ID in the customer's worksheet? And of course, what we are trying to sum is the price. So, well, the answer is price, and we click enter. As we can see here, there's the list of all the prices. We have a wide range of return sums, and that's that. Now we have a much better understanding of Excel and how to sum numbers.
Supposed to be this. Okay. I still don't think I understood all of it, but
Our entire table.
these are one of these things. The more I practice, the more I'll just get one with it.
Along with all the additional information we've added.
I will do some exercises and stuff for this. So even though I don't completely get it, I do know how to use it, but I don't completely get it. But I think that if we just stick with it for long enough, we will understand it.
This table is ready to go. It's got all the necessary and relevant information. One thing that we can use Excel for is to format it. And let's say I want to take an entire row Then I want to color it in based on a certain criteria. If I want to sort it out or filter it by something. So one way to do this would be to do it manually. I'd go to the return sum column here, click on the arrow, click on number filters, click on greater than, and I could type in manually whatever I would like, 50. Here, now we've sorted out and we've filtered out all the return sums or greater than 50. The entire column, of course. Okay, we can.
This stuff I know. This stuff I know enough of. Tomorrow we will just start with Power Query because this stuff I know. This is something that I've been doing for a while. It's the function stuff that I don't really practice all that much. These are for the most part these are automated functions. This is something that you don't really need to get into the nitty gritty of. But it's and even this stuff you don't really need. If you know Power Query and stuff, you don't really need it. But when you start doing advanced stuff, you start creating dashboards and what have you. Then you at least need to understand how these things work. That's why I was trying to learn these things. And while I don't think I have it all down pat, but eventually we will. So look forward to that. I will be doing some exercises and stuff just to get a hang of this. So look forward to it. As always, thank you all for watching. I'll see you next time.